don't have much time to get this done, John. So, on this episode of Bumpy's Beer Review, I have my friend John and Ellie here with me in his shed.
Mm-hmm. The man shed.
The man shed. Now, this was one that we've already done, but we did it with a larger group when we went to
Vermont.
It was our Maine and Vermont trip of last year, which included Beerman, Eric, Tanner. Maybe we can name their channels. Beerman is Beerman.
Yeah.
You'll put it in this much.
Oh, you'll put it in.
Yeah, I guess I'll put it
right.
in there somehow. We'll figure it out now. Thanks, John. Anyways, we got the Madness and Civilization Blend 17, which is their venture into variants of stouts and porters. I'm just kind of not going to read exactly what they write. Anyways, it has a bunch of different variants that have gone into making this. You have stuff from Aaron, Damon, Everett, bourbon barrel aged Everett, that is.
Genealogy of Morals. These are all beers, by the way, but they're philosophical, theological. All of these beers are named after different books and different philosophies from ancient times.
And once upon a time in Denmark Biscotti. So this is barrel aged. It's barrel aged in bourbon barrels from Whistle Pig whiskey in Shoreham, Vermont. Even though Whistle Pig is out of Canada, I guess they opened up a distillery in Vermont too.
Cognac and Port.
Cognac and Port, but they don't get specific with those.
No.
All right.
The only thing they get specific about is the whiskey. Whistle Pig.
Yeah.
10%.
10%. It is barrel aged. House ale yeast on this one. They do use cacao nibs and vanilla as well.
So bourbon, cognac, port, and whiskey. So 4 different barrels and 5 different beers cuvee and blended together to create this masterpiece that we're about to drink.
And it is blend number 17, if I didn't mention that.
Madness Civilization Blend 17. They make there's obviously been 16 versions before this. Every version is a little bit different.
I'm pouring more for John because I know he can handle it.
All right, thank you. Oh, smells nice. A little bit of wet dog.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Although I did.
As long as it's not the back end. Now, I said I was pouring more for you, but I think I almost evenly matched that. Now, I did not drip any on the carpet because it landed in my hand.
But if you did, it would be fine. There's more. I vacuumed before you got here today, but there are many stains in that carpet.
Yeah, that's the head on it. A little sudsy. Well, I don't know. Mocha.
I would say like half a finger's worth of a mocha-colored head.
Pretty dark.
And the head itself looks creamy. It doesn't look frothy. It's got a creamy head look to it. Yeah. The appearance of the beer itself is jet black.
Yeah, there's nothing in the reservoirs.
If you do want to watch the original review with all of us, I think that one was on my channel a couple months ago, so you can see what we all thought. I forgot what I gave this, so it'll be interesting to see how we rate this.
It was definitely perplexed. I get
dark roasted malt.
You get dark roasted. I get apple and wood.
Wood is almost smoke. I feel like I'm getting smoke.
Smoked, yeah. Okay, so if you had some apple slices, maybe Granny Smith or something like that.
Yeah, smoked them on some hickory.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm not even joking. That's what it smells like. Which I think is the cognac barrels, the port barrels. You get a lot of fruity weirdness from those barrels.
There is a little bit of that kind of grapiness to it.
Port, there's your port barrel. It definitely smells completely different.
Cognac is also typically made with grape.
Yeah.
So
cognac, which is brandy, which is
like a wine, basically.
Yeah, it's basically fortified or wine, distilled wine. Yeah. It smells fantastic. It's
not super rich.
It's completely different than the barley wine that we just had too, which is so interesting too because it's similar in appearance and everything. It's just a complete different, not as sweet, more char and roasted malt. I think the cognac barrels, that like grape thing is coming through a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe some wood, like
wood.
smoky,
Yeah, smoky
woody character. Like this makes you feel like you're out in the middle of the forest and you're.
If I had to guess what kind of wood it was, I would say mesquite.
Mesquite? I don't know enough about wood to, But
We got to get you barbecue.
We do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
First sip.
Ooh, it is smoky. I don't remember it being like this when we had it. I mean,
this is so this is aged now. A couple months. Was it? It was September that we went. So October, November, December, January. So 4 months that I've had.
It's been going since 2019.
Yeah.
Rested for more than 3 years between bourbon, port, and then they finish it in cognac. Yeah, so almost 6 years.
It's got that kind of like lower side medium body to it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier.
It's not as
to drink down something that's thick.
Yeah. This drink's even lighter than the 15.5% barley wine we just had. This is only 10%.
Yeah. There does seem to be a lot of wood notes to it, though.
Really, really woody. Carbonation is a little bit more than the barley wine we just had. I would say like low medium carbonation.
Yeah.
Body is high medium. It's not really heavy bodied. It's not like a super thick, viscous like stout. And we don't really even know. It just says ale on it, but it says that it's
porters and stouts.
Porters and stouts is what this.
I would classify this into the porter range.
It is
like it's not super. It's not coming off super stouty to me at all. It doesn't even come off like. I mean, I would say it's a barley wine. I think that's what we all said basically.
Yeah.
In Vermont,
drink's a lot lighter than what your typical porter stout.
It's not super roasty toasty. It doesn't have like tons of like chocolate,
but it's woody. Woody and barrel. I think I think I'm getting the cognac barrel the most.
There's that kind of grapey.
Yeah, I think the cognac barrel is most prevalent. The whiskey is there, but it's kind of muted. Port and cognac, because port is a dessert wine, so very grapey. So I think the wine barrel stuff comes through a lot more than the whiskey. I don't really get like bourbon.
This is 10% ABV. I do taste a bit of alcohol.
Yeah,
and it is a little bit warmer. It's not as warming as. This makes zero sense to anybody that's watching this, but we did just drink a barley wine from Treehouse that was
15.5%.
Yeah, 15.5%. It wasn't boozy on the palate, but it was definitely very warm going the chest. This is like mild. You kind of taste the booze,
but it's not
got like a mild.
Not hitting you all the way down.
But it's like a lot lower of an ABV too. So I would say ABV isn't like super well hidden at 10%.
No. It doesn't drink quite like a 10%, but I would say it drinks like an 8+. There's definitely a little bit of warming. Touch of dark fruit too.
Yeah, it's just there's like I'm not getting much out of the malt though. Like there's not like a lot of.
It's barrel. It's mostly barrel.
Yeah,
and dark fruit. I am picking up on dark fruit now, like some dates.
Yeah, I mean you can get that from darker malt, some dark fruit notes, but it's not like bready. Like the base of the beer just seems like it's like not really there. And it doesn't drink like a stout or a port.
No, it does drink more like a barley wine. After having the Treehouse beer, this is going to get a much lower rating than what I probably gave it the first time around. But I do think it's excellent, but I think it's probably like a 91, like an A-. I would like more roasted malt. Yeah. I would like a little bit less booze. Like, I like the barrel presence, but I don't like the boozy quality. At only 10%, this drinks like maybe not quite 10%, but I've had much higher ABV porter stouts, barley wines that are aged for just as long in similar barrels that have a much lower alcohol presence. This is kind of boozy, and it's to me, it's kind of a negative.
I'm gonna actually match with John, and I think I may have scored this in the same range.
I know I gave it much higher. I probably gave it world class.
Yeah, I'm bottom end excellent on it, which basically puts it into the 90, 91, 92 range. So, yeah, that's that. I think it may have just been what we were doing at the time as well, because sometimes your atmosphere and everything. Not that I don't enjoy spending time with.
We were with a lot
John.
more people. We had been out drinking a lot,
Yeah,
so
people we hadn't really hung out with much, and
not that. I mean, this is still an excellent beer, and it's amazing what they did. I mean, you never really know what you're getting yourself into when you age a beer in like 4 or 5 different barrels over the course of a few years. It's a big risk, and it's a risk that I would say is necessary for excellent beers to be made, but sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
But before this ends up being some ridiculously long video that I have to go through and edit, we're gonna say cheers and thanks for watching.
See how he cut me off very smoothly there at the end there. Anyway, cheers.